Today we will be led in the act of remembrance by Pam Marriger, President of Royal Canadian Legion Branch, number 50.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Take up our quarrel with the foe to you. With failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. Words which are familiar to us from the poem In Flanders Fields do not sit lightly on a page, nor do they sound easily when read out loud. These are words which resonate with a challenge. It is not a challenge which may be sloughed off to a different generation. The challenge, the torch which is being thrown in our direction, shines a bright light in contrast to the depths of darkness which attempt to extinguish it. It is when the torch is held high that it has the greatest impact and dispels the power of darkness. Across our great country today, Canadians will take a moment out of their busy lives to honor those individuals who have worn and are wearing this nation's uniform. Their service and sacrifice continues to gift us with the freedoms, rights, and responsibilities which we claim when we identify ourselves as Canadian citizens. For 100 years, the symbol of the poppy has brought to mind Canadians whose military service led to their ultimate sacrifice on the field of battle in distant parts of our global village. The record of Canadian service in world wars, in peacekeeping deployments, and specific missions across the globe are well documented. More recently, however, we have experienced the reality that those who wear a Canadian uniform may be called to service and sacrifice, responding to the needs of their fellow citizens by facing the challenges of natural disasters here at home, or by offering caring support in long-term care homes around the corner from where we live. In the bright light that the torch provides, we are able to perceive the responsibility of citizenship, which lies at the heart of the service and sacrifice we honor today. Not too far from where we meet today, you may visit the Canadian-Korea Veterans National Wall of Remembrance. Etched in stone are words of a poem written by Jack LaChance, part of which I share with you. He wrote, "With courage and with vigor they trained and went to war, and shielded us from danger on South Korean shores. They gave their lives for freedom that we all share today in a far-off country where most of their bodies lay." Though specific to the Korean conflict, the words which recognize the courage and vigor of uniformed Canadian citizens committed to defend the cause of freedom applies equally across the span of time. How many of us may recite with ease the Canadian Oath of Citizenship? Surely that is part of the torch's flame which shines on the path before us. Its call of faithful allegiance to our sovereign, observing the laws and treaties of Canada which are embedded in the Constitution and which shape relationships between Canadians, concludes with the direct statement that each and every one of us will fulfill our duties as Canadian citizens. When we make the words of the oath our own, we take on the responsibility to obey the laws of Canada, to be mutually responsible for ourselves, our family, and our community, our heritage, and the land we call home. We commit ourselves to respect and freely participate in a political process which is envied by many people who live in different parts of this global village. How well are we doing when we mark ourselves on a Canadian citizenship test? Do all of us engage in facing the challenges of living up to responsibilities expected of us as Canadian citizens? In one essential element, we only need to reflect on the fact that the number of citizens who participate in elections at every level of government does not indicate that we are all fully engaged in a facet of our lives and a freedom won for us by the shedding of blood. To you, with failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. As Canadians this Remembrance Day, we grasp the torch which has been thrown to us. Let us renew our awareness of what it truly means to be a citizen of this great country, and not let freedom's flame flicker while it is in our care. Sergeant-at-Arms, present the flags on behalf of the IODE. Loving God, from time immemorial, the signs and symbols of allegiance and duty have been brought before your people to represent our duty as citizens and to reflect our allegiance. Help all those who pass by the cenotaph and see these flags, that they may be reminded of their call to be faithful members of a wider community, this great land of Canada. For all this we ask, to the glory of your holy name. Amen. The offering of In Flanders Fields.
the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the lark still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. In Flanders fields the poppies blow. In Flanders fields the poppies blow. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, built, dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields.
This year, the wreaths are presented on behalf of the Silver Cross Mothers, wreath laid by Rose Armstrong. On behalf of the Government of Canada, wreath laid by Rosalind Horn on behalf of MP Mike Morris. behalf of Veterans Affairs Canada, the wreath laid by Phil Benjamin. On behalf of the Province of Ontario, on behalf of Laura May Lindow, the MPP for Kitchener Centre, the wreath laid by Zahara Habib and Julie Robichaud. On behalf of the Region of Waterloo, Regional Councillors laying the wreath, Elizabeth Clark, Tom Galway, and Mike Harris. On behalf of the City of Kitchener, the wreath laid by Mayor Barry Rabanne. On behalf of the RCMP Kitchener Detachment, the wreath laid by Sergeant Paul Dawkins. On behalf of the Korean Veterans Association Unit 52, the wreath laid by Lincoln Bauman, President. On behalf of HMCS Star, the Kitchener Detachment, laid by Lieutenant Keith Miller. On behalf of the Royal Canadian Legion, Fred Geese Branch number 50, the wreath laid by Pam Barringer, President. On behalf of the KW Naval Association, the wreath laid by Kelly Hoffman, the Master at Arms. On behalf of the Waterloo Regional Police Service, wreath laid by Chief of Police Brian Larkin. behalf of the Kitchener Fire Department, wreath laid by Fire Chief Robert Gilmore and Deputy Fire Chief Terry Gitzel. On behalf of the Kitchener Professional Firefighters Association, the wreath laid by Stephen Jones, President, KPFFA. On behalf of the Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans Unit Number 247, the wreath laid by Ron Johannes, Sergeant at Arms. Wreath laid in memory of Larry O'Brien, laid by his son, Master Corporal Toby O'Brien. Moment of reflection, we hear Amazing Grace. God's gracious mercy and protection we commit you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen. Sergeant at Arms, retire the colors.
Attention! Carry! Halt!
we join together in the royal anthem.
All ready, move to the right. Right, heart. Right, left, right, heart.
Is this a great element last year? These are all new buildings.
No, they didn't do that last year.
Used to be the church to the right. Good big church on the right. But up here this summer was. No, it was a big one.
They've changed something, right?
Building that
Something's
was
different.